Hi, welcome to Back to School Night, Interior Design parents. The Interior Design is a one semester class. I wrote it to give students a little taste of what interior designers are doing here in 2020 and beyond. The software they're using, the processes, and just to get a taste and see if it's something they want to do. We do have a four-year pathway in architecture at Santiago, and this would be the first class in that pathway. So if they like what's going on and they like the class, there are three other year-long classes after this that they could take next year, year after that, and year after that. The next class would be architecture design. So this is just a one semester class, so it'll end at the end of the year. So we're probably going to be, I'm guessing, we're probably going to be in this remote situation probably the entire class unless something unexpected happens. So we'll try to make the best of it. I think I can. And we've got a little kind of a slow start here with the technology and all that going, but I think we're kind of up and running. So let's talk about the class just a little bit. Again, we're going to do is I'm going to be teaching this software called Revit. It's a very important software in the architecture community right now. If a student doesn't know how to use it and they're trying to get a job in today's industry without knowing Revit, it's going to be pretty tough for them. So it's kind of the new thing. I was the first high school teacher, I think, in the country to start it. I picked it up back in 2003 and been teaching ever since. I've trained over 2,000 people how to use the software, from 14 years old to 70 years old. I've trained multiple firms on how to use the software. I've started 3 college programs, but I like the high school program, so I really like what's going on here. I developed my interior design class when I was working for HMC Architects up in Ontario, and I was training their interior designers how to use the software. And they were training me how to do the entire interior design stuff. And as I was doing that, it was like, I could do this at the high school level. Why not? And they were kind of in need of a semester-long class to go along with health at the time. And I thought, I could do that. I could make this into kind of a quick shot class. And so that's kind of what it is. It's going to be sort of a quick shot class. We're not going to be doing a ton of designing in here, more learning about, what goes inside a house and then how to use this software to make it happen. So that's pretty much going to be the class. If they want to get into more architecture design, then there's classes that follow this that get into that. So we're going to start by just learning the software. I've actually written my own book, and this is what they're going through right now. I'm not going to give you the long story, but basically, I use this to train my students, and I use it to train professionals. It's the class notes, so they don't have to take notes when I'm doing my demonstrations. They can just watch, and then they can use this as a crutch to, I forgot how to wing. Because I'm going to give them a lot of steps. Do this step, then this step, then this step, and they're not going to remember everything. So they have this to go back and get those steps. So if they're watching this along with you, they go, oh, yeah, I remember doing this. Oh, yeah, I did that. Then we did that. Then we did that. And so they're going to go through this process of, learning how to use the software and how it works. And I'm going to train them properly, like the way the industry wants them to. So when they get out of my program, they're going to have to use the software, the way it's intended to be used. So this book is, they're not going to get through this whole book in this class, but it's, 384 pages. So there's a lot of stuff in there just as reference. One of the benefits of this COVID remote thing is that I'm teaching via Zoom. And when I do that, I can record my Zoom meetings. So I've been sending out the Zoom meetings to the students, and they can watch those Zoom meetings, and they can go back and, I remember that I was doing this fine, and then I got kind of lost right here, and then go back and watch the Zoom meeting and kind of, oh yeah, that's right, that's what I did now again. So between the book and the Zoom meetings, and then the regular just, going back and look at recordings, they should be good to go. So the classes, in essence, the class is kind of simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give them this building right here, this little colonial building right here. It was modeled by a student of mine in my architecture design class. And then what I had the student do is take out everything on the inside. So this is what they're going to receive here in just a couple of weeks once we get done with the basic training. Let me just open up a little button here. So if I took this and I just kind of wheel this down a little bit, you'll notice that inside the house, there's not a darn thing. This is the subfloor. It's just the, the wood floor, not even like wood, like nice wood, just the plywood. And yeah, there's nothing in there, not a thing. And there's nothing here yet. There are windows and doors and walls. That's all provided. This is an interior design class, so they're not designing that part of it in this class. This would be for next year. Let's go down just a little further. Let's look at the downstairs. A little more. And there you go. So this is the concrete, that starts at the first floor. And so you can see in the house there is not a thing in there, except for, again, the basic architectural components. So what they're going to do in my class is they're going to design all that stuff on the inside. Some of the stuff they've been doing recently is collecting some of the material pictures that they're going to be applying. So let me just put that back the way it is. There's the house again. Let me just close this one. I'm just going to show you an example of an old student's here. Let me close this one here. This is done by a girl who did this. She was in the interior design class a few years back, and she went through my 4 years, and now she's at Cal Baptist in their architecture program. So this was her as a freshman, basically. So this is the house. This is a little bit different one here, but and this is the kind of drawings they're going to create. They're going to create presentation plans. They're going to tell what's in the projects, almost like they're in a job interview and the person wants to know what they learned in the class and what they know about Revit and stuff like that. So this is kind of like a cheater note. Sometimes my students take these in 9th grade. And it's a really good project, and it's a great portfolio project. I don't remember what they did because it was like 4 years ago. So this really helps. It's like what they learned to do in the software and then what they learned about architecture in general here. So that's kind of good. And then there's going to be stuff. So they're going to create kitchens. This is all done by the students and rendered. This is, I moved this by accident there. It should be there. And then these are the swatches that they have collected, and these are going to be applied to to the materials inside the building. So that's kind of what they've been doing a little bit here so far. And they're going to create just construction drawings. These are called interior elevations. This is what interior designers communicate their ideas. They're going to design the bathroom completely from scratch. So they're going to design the tub, they're going to design the countertops and the cabinets and the sinks and the mirror and the lighting and all that stuff, the paint on the walls, flooring, and then they're going to create these drawings. And these are the drawings this is like what they would do in the industry. These are called tags, and they kind of describe what's going on there. This is all stuff that they'll understand how to look at too. So if they're reading drawings, they'll understand what they're looking at. They'll be doing different rooms in the house. We probably won't get to the entire building because it's only a semester-long class, but they'll be designing everything from the furniture to the flooring to the lighting to the paint on the walls, crown molding, base molding, stuff like that. They'll be doing this thematic teen room, easy for me to say, and it's going to have some kind of theme. What was hers? Hers was some kind of a river theme. So, we'll do these, thematic rooms, if you will. So everything from paint on the wall to pictures to paint, to furniture and stuff like that. We'll be doing construction drawings like this is called a floor pattern plan. So this is for the construction workers. So this is a cork, and it's these are tags that tell what kind of material goes inside. This is all just technical stuff that interior designers need to know how to do. I don't think we're going to get to this right here because we have to be in the lab. We create these things called material boards. That's Abby. Material boards that have all the materials and stuff like that. The students will research these materials, but we won't be able to make them boards because we're not in the room unless by magic we get in the room and we do this toward the end. And then we'll create these things called schedules, which document the stuff that goes inside the room. So we'll get a little taste of that as well. So it's just a process of creating the insides of the building, the interior design, using the software as a tool to get there. So this was actually if you guys recognize Dos Lagos, or been around there. This is one of them. One of my mentors was one of the designers of those things. They like those, they have those side entries where they share the driveways and stuff like that. If you've driven through Dos Lagos, that probably looks familiar. So yeah, so they're just learning how to use the software to to create the insides. As they turn in work, they do have a week to go back and fix it if they don't like their score. So if they turn in a drawing and let's say they get a C on it and it was due on Friday, then they have till the next Friday to turn it in for a higher score. So they do get the opportunity to revise work, no penalty. I don't take late work. So if it's due on Friday, they've got to turn it in on Friday. If they miss the deadline, they take a 0. So the industry people that hire my students are really they put a lot of importance on meeting deadlines, and they want me to train my students that way and make a culture that way. So I start it from scratch. So all the way through my fourth year classes, everybody's put on deadlines, and they're realistic deadlines. And again, if they turn in the work and it's like it's great, it's good, but it's not great, they can always go back that next week and fix it and make it better. So that's going to be interior design. If you have any questions about the next step or what's going on with the class, that you're not going to see this video that I'm creating on September 7th until back to school night. But by then we should, all the technical issues should be over. But if you're having a technical issue, throw me an email and we'll get it taken care of. And hope for a good experience for this semester long class.